Job Vlog.
July 4th brought the release of the full third season of Netflix's Stranger Things. While the fanboys who comprise the majority of YouTube content creation will invariably heap praise, it's my role to spit truth. So sit back and get educated. Surely you've binged the season already, cause there be spoilers ahead. Things can't stay quiet in Hawkins, Indiana for long, and so they get stranger as Russian agents are now tapping into the town's gateway to the Upside Down. How'd they find out about this, and for what use do they have you're not supposed to think about? Because there's a new creature comprised of guts that takes its sweet time eradicating humanity to draw your attention. The expanding hero roster is split into 3 units that tackle this season's story. First, you have most of the core kids, including Elle, fighting against the Mind Flayer-controlled Billy, and ultimately the giant creature made of guts they call the Mind Flayer weapon. Hopper and Winona Ryder look into Russian interference in town, capturing and later assisting rogue Russian scientist Alexei with the help of conspiracy theorist Bald Eagle. Then there's the auxiliary kids, known as Scoop's Troop. Consists of the Scoop's ice cream employees, Steve Harrington, new SAS member Robin, the daughter of Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman. Yes, you're that old. Plus Dustin and Erica, the extra sass little sister of Lucas, promoted to main cast. This troop actually goes into the Russian lab. The various teams have no coordination until the final episode when they realize what they are uncovering fits together. There's a lot to try and keep straight, and at times the show loses its focus. Feels like much of this is repeating itself. There's a government lab. Again, only this time now it's the Ruskies. I guess no matter what, every season is going to be kickstarted with Men in Black hacking into the Upside Down. Another standoff at the cabin with a creature, and Nancy has the shotgun. Is Nancy the designated marksman? Heather is this season's Barb. Each year, there's a sacrificial lamb, someone whose moral character was too high for Hawkins, Indiana, and therefore must die a horrible death to a creature. We added some more kids to the cast, all girls. I guess the boys need to be paired up or foiled, but Steve Harrington suffers for our sins yet again when his new love interest reveals herself to be a lesbian, in what may be the biggest twist of the season. Some stuff in particular I liked. The mall incorporation. The mall is not just a set, it is pivotal to the plot, and they really get the sense of the 80s mall in this season. You have all of the right shops, Hot Dog on the Stick, The Gap, JCPenney's still rocking that same logo. When I heard news of this, I was concerned it was just going to be, hey, remember the mall? But no, not so much. I mean, it is the front for the Russian lab. How did they manage to build that in American territory secretly, underground so far? Yeah, I'm not really sure about that. Oh, I like the gag in the first episode where the kids sneak into the movie theater, presumably to watch Back to the Future, only to walk past it for Day of the Dead. But alas, Back to the Future and its music is incorporated later. Also, the big battle concludes without Elle doing everything. That's refreshing. And now some stuff I hated, and there's a lot of it. Hopper splits up Mike and Elle just to manufacture drama. Of course, as soon as the cokeheads leave the room, the rat explodes. It's 4th of July and fireworks are still on shelves? Really? Elle used to need to be in a pool to go into the under the skin zone. Then they change it to where she just needs a blindfold. So why does she really still need the blindfold? Can't she shut her eyes? Will Byers continues to be useless. There's now too many kids for everyone to have something to do, and though Will finally manages to go a whole season without a coma, he's nothing but a human warning device. Oh hey, the creature's nearby. I can sense it. Well, everybody else noticed too. Don't get me started on the Russian Terminator. Who does this actor look like? With that hair? Come on, who does he sound like?
Busy day?
I realize the guy's just a human, but he's shown to be bulletproof, thanks to a bulletproof vest. Appears to have enhanced strength. And check out those gloves he's sporting. In a similar way, possessed Billy stalks the kids, but like a polite villain, he seems to stop to give them time to prep. And they really went overboard with the CGI this season. I don't mind the CGI creature so much, that looks well polished. but just everything else having to be CGI, I mean, come on, that is not what night looks like. Those don't look like fireworks. Can you just not do some kind of simple exterior? I like that Susie, the hyped up summer girlfriend of Dustin, turned out to be real and helpful. Did you catch that she has Dustin's OG cap? And though I like the song, injecting a musical number for comedy during the climax is a huge misfire. And that's a problem with much of the second half of the season. Suddenly, Chief Hopper becomes obsessed with Magnum PI, growing a Selleck stash, and donning floral print. Then he and Winona become a comedy troupe. Steve and Robin have a prolonged drug trip. Even the interior of the Russian lab with its bright paint scheme and lighting misconstrues the series' previously serious tone. I swear there was an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark with a toy company office that looks the same way. I'm not saying Stranger Things was strictly a thriller, but it took action seriously. Seems to no longer be the case. With so much being played for a cheap gag, I feel let down. Hopper's death could go either way. David Harbour probably thought he was going to be a movie star, so wanted a way out. Oh, but the mid-credits scene in Kamchatka suggests an American prisoner, leaving the door open for his return. Because really, who else could the American prisoner be? He just had to throw in American. And it's going to be really contrived how he survives this. He must have gotten some kind of superpowers because everybody else, even in protective suits, was incinerated. I appreciate that the series is growing more original than it started, but it just feels like the core plot is repeating. Is the value of pop culture enough that infusing it can keep a show interesting for you? I wonder how far in advance they're writing the die-hard ho 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 now I have a machine gun gag that they will inevitably use in 3 years. Obviously Netflix's biggest hit original series, I'll bet when the show gets into the 90s, it'll swap out the cast and everyone will fawn over the 90s nostalgia and how the show reinvented itself. So what do you think of Season 3 of Stranger Things? Comment below and you could win absolutely nothing. So we're at the part of the video where I have to beg you to hit the subscribe button and ring that bell because subscribe doesn't really account to anything other than YouTube might someday send me a plaque.